Alrighty then. There we go. That's good. Give me a few moments to get everything brought up on the screen here while I wait for people because I'm just throwing this on them. No scheduling, no time whatsoever. Just hopped on, figured I'd go early, and we're here now. So yeah, give me a moment because when I'm by myself, I don't. I do a bad job at scheduling when I'm going to go live for these things, and so I was going to do it in an hour, but I woke up early and I was like, we're just going to get it out of the way. Let's see here, we're there. Alright, share that. Share that, we're good there. Alright, let me bring up all my stuff on the other screen. If I can get all this to open here. Okay. I need that one there, that one there. Feel free if you're in here. I'm pretty sure there's only like 4 or 5 people in here. If you're in here, feel free to drop any questions that you're wondering or anything of that nature while I bring everything up. If you're tuning in later, I'm sorry you're having to sit through like 2 or 3 minutes of this stuff. God, Brain, you're so unprofessional. Why don't you have this already ready? Well, I didn't figure I'd be going early or on this early. Let's see, we'll do that. Alright, let me fix this. We do projected finish. Okay, we got that. Alright, and we are ready, locked and loaded, ready to rock and roll. Well, you guys like my animal mother? Sure. I was hoping it'd fit in the camera or the camera more, but it's probably too low for that. Alright, so here we are. And I want to take note of my ownership to some certain fellers here. Alright, where you at? So Sindrek, let's see. I'll put under my interest here. Where are we at? AJ. Is AJ even a dominator? Is he a dominator? Let's see. Why is that? I might, hold on, I got to, I probably have a, nah, it doesn't matter. I probably have a different, formatting going on there. I don't know. Let me look. And we'll leave it. I think we'll give those. Why is this one not going there? What do I got on? What kind of format do I have on this one? Let's see, color scale. I haven't. Why does it not care about the? Oh, it's because white. That's why. That's gonna look ugly either way. Here, I won't really crucify you too much. I mean, that's kind of extreme. Maybe I don't need the format. Oops. Here, we'll just trash that. So yeah, this is kind of, I guess we'll start here talking about the guys up top. Oh, thank you, Eagles. Thank you very much. I was gonna make, I was trying to come up with a joke, but I don't think enough people would fucking watch. I was gonna be like, man, I like when this guy says, I just went blank on what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, I was gonna be like, man, I loved it when this guy in this movie said, "Is that you, John Wayne? Is this me?" Right before Cowboy got smoked, and then be like, "Nah, of course, I know that's Joker," but I fucking nobody cares. Nobody thinks I'm that funny. These are the types of jokes I come up with early in the morning. So thank God I didn't really open with that. So, I guess looking up top, looking at lap leaders, I think AJ Allmendinger and Pluto. I know we're not looking at Pluto right here. I think they are most likely to be in the optimal lineup. Cindric could very well lead the entire race or stay up there and lead a good portion of the race, get a lot of fast laps. However, it seems like a lot of people are going to go Austin Cindric, AJ Allmendinger, or Austin Cindric place differential, or AJ Allmendinger place differential. And because of that, I wanted to lower my Cindric ownership. So the lineups that I have 18 lineups. So the lineups that I have with Cindric are purposely with low-owned guys. And so also talking about kind of like chalk pivots or whatnot, like it seems like Weatherman's going to be really, really chalky. And for good reason. Like Weatherman has a really good chance of blowing the slate apart. Even if you project him for like 20th, he's going to blow the slate apart. If he finishes in top 15, he's going to be optimal. And if he wrecks, he's going to kill the lineup. That's just how it is. And so I have ownership to all. I mean, this really hasn't changed. A lot of these rankings are the exact same from my video on Thursday. And so, like, I have ownerships with, or I have lineups with Curry, lineups with Graf, lineups with Weatherman, lineups with, I didn't get to Howard, but lineups with Tommy Joe Martins, lineups with Cody Ware, lineups with Jade Buford, just spreading out ownership. And I think I only have 3 with Weatherman. Just hoping I get a Weatherman lineup that isn't highly owned, because it really seems like Weatherman is going to be really highly owned. So I wanted to say that these ownerships kind of reflect thinking of that stuff as well. So if a lot of people are going Cindric, obviously I need to play him because I do believe Cindric can lead a lot of laps, but I lowered my ownership to be under the field on Cindric to just, I think he's going to come in pretty highly owned, maybe around 25%, 30%, maybe even a bit higher. Because of that, I think Ty Gibbs kind of gets forgotten about. Not necessarily he's going to be extremely low owned, but I wanted to have more Ty Gibbs than Cindric, just in the off chance that Ty Gibbs has a better day than Austin Cindric. We've seen what Ty Gibbs does on road courses. I really don't care that he ran the ARCA race yesterday, but it certainly helps to have recent laps here. Cindric has always been good here, but having that recent laps is good. There might actually be like some rubber on the track, which is stuff we didn't have earlier. I'm not saying that's weighing in someone's favor, but I don't think the track is going to be as dirty or as as wild as we think, because we had the ARCA race put down rubber yesterday. We have the stadium trucks putting rubber down right now, and so I don't hate Ty Gibbs. Maybe I'm just tired and trying to come up with reasons to play Ty Gibbs. But if everybody's going to go Cindric, Allmendinger, even Cindric, Hemrick, things of that nature, I think we're not really considering how likely it could be that instead of Cindric leading the entire race, it's Ty Gibbs. I don't have Allmendinger projected to win this race. I'm playing Allmendinger for place differential. I think he finishes third. I don't think Allmendinger even leads in this race. If he does, even better. I just have him being the highest scoring guy just on place differential alone. So maybe that's kind of why I'm able to go to Cindric and Ty Gibbs more, just because I assume that they're going to be a lap leader versus A. Jomini or Gregson. Seems like he's not getting talked about enough as well. I really like. I end up. How many lives do I have with Hemrick? I ended up playing Hemrick in. Let's see. I got him in 2 lineups. Just because like I said, same argument to be made with Ty Gibbs, to a lesser extent Hemrick. Like if people are going to go Allmendinger and then maybe go to Gregson, I mean, I think Hemrick kind of gets forgotten there. That's kind of how we're at there. If you were with me last night, and I'll get to some questions in a minute, I just kind of want to get this out. And I personally do not have Clements. Last night, and this kind of goes back to what I was going to say here, is last night I was running the optimizer and trying to force out people like Miguel Paludo, trying to force out people like the 5K range, like Graf and Weatherman and things of that nature, just trying to get different, late lineups, the last few that you throw in, just trying to really be different down different avenue, and it was wanting to use Jeremy Clements. I disagree with that. I just think the Clements play needs so many things to happen for Clements. Like, not only does he have to have a good race, he needs a lot of the 5K range to not work, and he needs a lot of the 6K range to not work as well. And so when you start looking at the field of guys who can outscore him for much cheaper, or people who are around him in price who should outscore him, you basically need all these guys to have a bad day. And so we'll throw Joe Graf in there, even though he's 4,700. Hold on. We'll throw Joe Graf in there because he's 4,700. Bailey Curry, a guy that I think people aren't playing enough of at 5,900. So close in Clements' price range. You need people like Greg Golden to have a bad day, people like Kyle Weatherman to have a bad day, which is possible, but they need people like Conway Martins to have a bad day, people like Chris Wright to have a bad day, people like Cody Ware to have a bad day, even Jade Buford. Like, I think that's a good. Let me look. Who do I have projected higher, Jade or Clements? I'm gonna guess it's Jade. It's Clements by 2 points. Whereas Jade hits 5x and Clements hits 4.8. Now, I'm not highly concerned about value, but long story short, I think Clements is a no for me, because it was wanting to use it last night. I didn't like. I not like Clements there. I like other guys. I guess let's talk about the bottom guys, because everybody kind of already knows. So play Miguel Pluto, play Andy Lally. Play these guys. We can go to more information, and I appreciate the single entry. I think it's got to be very. If you're playing single entry, it's probably, I would not play Weatherman. I think people are going to play Weatherman, and I would probably play the chalk in single entry. So Miguel Paludo, Andy Lally, A. Allmendinger. I'd probably start there, and then see where you can kind of pivot to people like, obviously, I like Pardis for place differential. He'll probably be very popular in single entry. I think Chris Wright's going to be popular in single entry. So maybe you want to go those guys and then just play some wild play for your last dude, or try and get different and go with like a Moffitt, because I think while there is ownership going to Moffitt and LeBay, maybe they'll be lower owned in single entry. I think maybe I need to enter it. Let me look at the contest right fast, because I'm not sure on. Let me look. Let me see how big those single entry contests are. Single entry. Yeah, let's see. You got the they got rid of the 22. Thank God. I was getting tired of seeing that crap everywhere. Let's see. They got the 12, the 4, and the 1. Yeah, I think in the 12 you could get away with playing a lot of chalk in the back, and then maybe using Moffitt or LeBay as a maybe as a pivot or a lower owned guy, and hope that one of these guys doesn't hit a ceiling, or maybe Josh Berry. I had to throw in some Josh Berry late in the lineups that I was making, just because originally I wasn't getting any Josh Berry. I think I have 2 out of 18 that have Josh Berry in it. Josh Berry's here for points, man. So, obviously Jordan Anderson's, I don't know why he went to Xfinity. He's a pretty bad driver, and maybe he's a great owner, but his trucks keep falling apart in the truck series, and it's been that way for years. His only accomplishment is second place at Daytona twice. So he basically takes this huge risk. I don't think it's as bad as like Timothy Peters mortgaging his house to continue, or Tommy Joe Martin's, putting his house up to start his race team. But I know Jordan Anderson put a lot of money on that Xfinity, and since it got rained out at qualifying, he wasn't able to really do anything. And so when he got into the last race, or when he got into the first race, I even thought, like, I wonder if that car is good enough and it finishes high enough, can he outscore the guys in points, like the MBM guys, the Ryan Vargases, the RSS Racing, can he outscore those guys? And it's certainly looking like that, because it seems like that car on ovals is going to be an easy top 10 contender. And when you get those stage points and finish up high, he's quickly gaining on the back of the owner points field with a lot of the back markers. And so, where you at? There you go. There's Barry. So, he's starting 31st. He needs stage points. And so I would write off Barry as a guy who is not going to be pitting early. This team is racing for points. It needs stage points. So that's a, kind of a bad thing looking at DFS. Another thing is Josh Berry is not a road course guy. He's a late model dude. I'm pretty sure this might be one of his only road course starts. I could be wrong. But look, a guy who literally only does short track racing, and you've seen that. You've seen how dominant and how great he was at Martinsville. And I say that because I bring up Martinsville is because typically if you're good at road courses, you're good at Martinsville. He's good at Martinsville. We don't know much about his road course skill, so maybe he does do well in this car. I have him projected for 16th. I see people projecting him for inside top 10 finishes. I don't think that's maybe an 80-20, or maybe a 20-80. So maybe a 20% chance he gets a top 10, 80% chance he gets a probably top 16. That's probably where I would lean. I think he obviously passes people. But it seems like people are wanting to play a lot of Josh Berry based on what he's done in the other cars, and that's kind of why I had low ownership on Berry. But anyway, I think he's stage racing. He's getting those stage points. I think that kind of hurts him in stage 3. Let's see, what else are we at here? Is pitting early? Yeah. So, man, legalized. They've messed so much stuff up. It's ridiculous. And so they have no live pit stops under yellow. You can't gain, you can't lose positions. I'm pretty sure you can still speed, but there's no reason to do that. You could just run it in 4th at 4 miles per hour, just let it coast down the hill to get out of pit road. So if somebody speeds, that's on them. If they leave with equipment, that's on a team for being a bunch of morons. But if you pit under green, your pit stop has to be 60 seconds or longer. It cannot be any shorter than 60 seconds. You can only take fuel or tires during a pit stop. You cannot do both. And so if you pit under green, which we've seen from Cindric and a couple other guys last year when they had these types of pit stops, or was it the year before? Either way. You had Cindric, you had AJ, you had, I think it was Gregson as well, and a couple other guys. This is offhand. These guys went in under green, took tires, and they went back out. And so under the caution period, when a lot of the teams, who didn't pit either to get stage points or just, wasn't in a position to pit early, they would go down, on like the second lap of the yellow, go in, change tires, and then when they came back, they would enter pit road again to take fuel. So they're basically pitting twice, whereas here, like say if you're Cindric and you pit before the stage ends and you take tires, you can just save those tires for the rest of the run. When everybody else is pitting for tires and fuel, those during those 2 times, you just pit for fuel, and instead of pitting twice under yellow, you only pit one time, and you still cycle to the front. So if anything, I really feel like these pit rules help teams who are going to pit before the stage end, and it's going to help teams who have good cars and good equipment stay up front like that. That's how I view it. I don't view it as an equalizer, and it's certainly not saving NASCAR money. You've heard me talk about it. You've heard Pierce talk about it. I mean, NASCAR's stupid excuse of, this saves money. It does not save money at all. NASCAR is just blatantly lying to us when they're like, we got no practice because we're trying to save money, blah, blah. Like, come on. So all the variables of pit penalties are gone. I mean, they are in a sense, like, people can still, like I said, you can still, leave before 60 seconds like a moron, or you can still speed in pit road. I don't know why you would, but you can. We've seen these guys do dumber things. Just because these aren't live pit stalls or pit stops doesn't mean that somebody still can't slide in and squish a guy in between the cars. So you still have those, but they're minimalized for sure. Yeah, I have a gray. I need to change that. That is probably where I'm different on. I ended up getting the gray. Actually, I'm going to lower that to a C because he's not hitting 5X. I ended up getting gray just to diversify the plays in the back. So I do have Greg Galding. I do not have Michael in net. I don't have any in net. I just don't have him hitting anywhere close to even a 4-5 like I want. I'm all over Brett Moffitt. I think everybody kind of already knows that. How much Moffitt do I have? Let me look. Oh man, I'm crying. It's super, super dry in this room. I got 33% Moffitt. I think that will be over the field. I don't think people are gonna like Moffitt, and if you're, certainly if you're paying up for a Cindric or a Gibbs with a Allmendinger or a Gregson and then a Paluto and a Lally, it's difficult to get to Brett Moffitt. So I try to go out of my way to try and get different with Moffitt there. Let's see. So for line construction, 1 to 2. So I would say, like, if you look at optimal lineups, it's pretty much only been one dominator. Let me look. Let's see. That's one. It's hard, man. It's so hard to look at some of these optimal lineups because our last 4 races have been in fucking rain or wreckfests. But I would lean one dominator. Now you just have to pick the right one. I have lineups that have guys in the top 10. I have lineups that don't have guys in the top 10. Guys that just start with A.J. Allmendinger, Gregson, people like that. I think the race has one dominator in the race, and I do have a lineup with Cindric and Gibbs together just in case they split laps led and fast laps. I don't think that lineup is very likely to do well, but I'm playing it just in that situation. But it's just place differential heavy. We only have you only have 60. No, you only have 75 laps, and so what is that? So you got 18.75 for laps led, 33.35 for fast laps. That's there's gonna be a lot of guys who can score those points just on place differential alone, and finishing position. And so yeah, it's more so just a one dominator lineup. I think Fast Cars of Fast Money, one of the guys who liked Moffitt, and I couldn't tell if he liked him as much as me or if he was just saying him as a pivot. Like I like Moffitt in this race, not as a pivot, just as a driver in general. I like the play, I like the pricing, I like Brett Moffitt. And here's my argument to Brett Moffitt. So obviously, if you look at his Xfinity Series races, And, you know, yet again, I'm using Pierce's sheet here. You can get it at True DFS. It's a world of help. And that's another thing. Like in my video, on the videos I do now, it's basically just ranking them in terms of my value. I feel like I'm not giving any information on the videos on Thursday. Because you know me, like the amount of research I do, I mean, I could tell you what fucking chassis these idiots are driving, who's doing this, you know, lap by lap or things of that nature, and just people don't like that. People just like the picks. And so like that's kind of why we've simplified the videos on Thursday of just, hey, here's the rankings, you know, that's what people want. Anyway, when you look at Moffitt, you know, 12th at Coda, 11th at the Daytona Road Course, and then you see 36th and 38th at the NGGP and the Roval from 2018, and you're like, wow, this guy is, you know, he's not the best of the best, but give him a good car, and I think he can get very similar races or very similar finishes to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park and the Truck Series. And when you look at how he's done the Truck Series, second, first, and third on road courses, the Truck and Xfinity are very similar in terms of driving style. They're really heavy. They don't like to be turning left and right. I like Moffitt for. Sorry, I like Brett Moffitt here. I think he runs well. Like I said, I got 33%, so it's not like, you know, extremely high or anything like that. Let me see. Let me just search. Where is Moffitt at? I want to look at his truck stuff in general. Like if we look at how he's done in the trucks, even at a Bowman, even at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park going back 2016 and the Daytona Road Course in 2021, this year 16th, 3rd, 1st, 2nd, and 25th. And that 25th was in a Nice Motorsports car. I think that's more the car. You know, this is a top 12 car in Xfinity. I just like Moffitt, so we'll see where that goes. Let's see. One punt to be different. Are we going? I would not go fucking 3 punts. There's no way I'm doing that. I don't even think I have a 2-punt lineup. Let me look, because I hate. The more and more I look at it, if everybody's going to punt, I kind of want to stay out of the 5 and 4K range. And you can easily do that. Let me see. I don't have... Do you count Pardis as a punt? I don't, because he's place differential. But if you count Pardis as a punt because of the car he's in, maybe then I have 2 punt lineups. But obviously he's not a punt because he's not in that range. But I do not have any. I don't have any 2 punt lineups. Unless you count Chris Wright. I got a lot of Chris Wright. Yet again, I don't consider him a punt. That car is not a punt play. And I have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 lineups that doesn't have that don't have anybody in the 4 or 5K range. Yeah. So like, yeah, legalized. Does a Chris Wright count as a punt? I don't think so. Like, Chris Wright is a road course racer. You know, like he sucks on ovals. He's bad in the Truck Series, or you know, bad. I think he's very similar to the skill of, you know, maybe Quinn Hoff in the Cup Series. Like, he's not bad. He's doing better than other people who should. Like, he's fucking better than Stephen Wallace. Remember back in the day when Stephen Wallace would wreck nearly every week? I mean, it's better than that. Chris Wright isn't wrecking every week anyway. Yeah, I don't count Chris Wright as the punt, you know. So that's where we're at. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, that's how. And I like fast cars and fast money. It's a shame, and I like Nate Lane too. I usually listen to everybody, but it's easier now. Now we're in the year or part of the season to where everybody always leaves and nobody gives a shit about Xfinity at this point in the year. It's always at the start of the year, every February. I'm always like, all right, this is the year I got competition. I got to get the videos up. I got to get them in higher quality. I'm going to have to really bust my ass because I got about 8 guys making NASCAR, Xfinity, and Truck Series, and then those numbers slowly start dying off to where it's just 4 of us making content on YouTube. More people obviously writing articles. You know, you got Taco at DFS Army, you got Phil talking a little bit of Xfinity, and he does his sheet. But in terms of content on YouTube, it's only 4 of us right now. It's myself, Pierce, Fast Money, and Nate Lane. And it's kind of a shame because I like hearing different opinions, and the people just don't give a fuck about Xfinity. So Snyder's interesting. So yet again, last night when I was forcing lineups to be made without using certain guys and really limiting the player pool to people like without Miguel Paludo, because I had like 90% Miguel Paludo at the start, and just in case that happens, I had to knock that down and try and get around 70. But limiting the player pool, it was wanting to use a lot of Myatt Snyder, and entering the week, I didn't think that was a good idea. But if you limit the player pool that much, I mean, obviously it's going to force in guys because the player pool is smaller at that point. But it was wanting to use way more Snyder than I thought when I just removed a few guys, and so I ended up considering Snyder in lineups, and I do have Snyder. Let's see. I got him in 2 lineups, which is more than I probably would have had 0 to start the week off. It was also telling me to play Justin Allgaier, but I just couldn't do it. I got no Allgaier today. I just didn't like how those lineups shaked out, and you need a lot to happen to a lot of good guys. Let's see. Yeah, but yeah, I don't think it's a double punt day. Oh no, I got water on my shirt. That's going to show up instantly on the camera. Let's see. Yeah, but you got to remember. Well, Wright spun on the first corner. I mean, he got spun on the first corner, and that was, I totally forgot about all the sand traps here. I feel like we're at a golf course where there's sand traps all over the fairway. I forgot how many Mid Ohio has, but if you get stuck in that sand, the yellow's coming out because you can't get out. But like I don't use ARCA data at all right now because the ARCA series is a joke. He finished last and he got stuck in the sand, and it was just Chris finished 8th last night. He got stuck in the sand. The only thing that you can take from that is, hey, Chris Wright, like Ty Gibbs, has literally recent practice on the track. That's about the only thing. But I liked Wright anyway. Do you feel Castle was a good play? I have no Castle. There's just I didn't see the need to get to Castle. I was either always able to get up into the 8K range, or I just find people that I like in 6K range more. I'm giving Castle on 18th. I don't think that's incredibly outside of what he's going to do today. Let's see. So LeBay as well. Like, I'm getting a lot of LeBay and Moffitt. Like, that doesn't bother me at all. I guess I'm above the field on those guys, just out of pure dumb luck. Because I like LeBay. I don't feel like LeBay's a pivot. I just feel like he's a guy that you need to consider, like, right off the bat. Yeah, so I actually have more LeBay than Moffitt, so you know, I didn't really understand the whole Alex LeBay maybe not being owned. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe I'm just going a different direction right off the bat instantly. We'll see. Hello, Derek. Hello. Everybody in here is pretty much either a member of Patreon or people who support me each and every week. But if you guys would be so kind, I do have a Patreon and a PayPal. Those links are in the description. If I do anything of value, shoot me $1, shoot me $2. You know, you don't need that $2 cup from your coffee shop. You don't need to support your local business. Support me. You know, send $1, $2 my way, and we'll get you all squared away. The chalk in the back. Do you really need to consider Lally, Paludo? Like, if I'm playing, like, it's kind of why I don't purposely try and have open-ended answers to questions, but like if I have LeBay in lineups, does it really matter if I project him for a 10th place and he finishes 7th? You know, if I'm playing him, I need LeBay, or I need Lally in that lineup to finish well. You know, so if I'm playing him, yeah, I'm playing him because I think there's a chance he's optimal. You know, in the lineups that I don't play him, it's covering the situations where I think Lally has an issue or wrecks or does something there, and so I feel the exact same way about Lally and Paluto and Josh Berry and Chris Wright and even Weatherman. I'm playing those guys in lineups because in those lineups, I'm assuming that those guys are going to work. In the lineups I don't play them, it's because I don't think they're going to work. Weatherman, like I said, I got 3 lineups with Weatherman because he is seeming like very, very chalky in this 5K range, and for good reason. For good reason. It's 15th or 30th for Weatherman. So I'm glad you asked that, Clint. Kind of going back to the Cindric and Ty Gibbs. I have currently right now Cindric projected for more points, but the more I think about it, the more and more I like Ty Gibbs. 20. Let's see. I mean, these are my ownerships right now. 17 to Cindric, 22 to Gibbs. I think I'd probably go Gibbs just because I think there's gonna be less ownership to him, and I think there's a possibility he can get up there and lead a good amount. So I mean Gaulding, the best part about him is his starting position. And I'm trying to see because he did not, let me mute this. He didn't I don't think he queued last week for Charlotte. I could be wrong. Where you at, Gray? Let's see. Let me look at Jimmy Means. Let's see, because he doesn't have the Panini car. Alright, I'm a mess, man. Yeah, so they had Good Sam on the car last week. That's 15 grand from Marcus. Basically, Marcus Lemonis paid him 15 grand to not queue at Charlotte. And they have a real sponsor this week, you know, SVS Visions. I think that's a real sponsor. That's not some local crap. You know, that's a pretty good sponsor for these guys. If you look at Greg Alding's history on road courses, they're pretty much all ending in disaster, but he runs extremely well, and it's for reasons that are outside of his control. It's either mechanical issues or radio issues. You know, everybody, if you've been with me long enough, you remember that Roval race last year in the rain, or the monsoon Roval race, whenever that was, last year or the year before. Greg Alding was driving for Mike Harmon Racing in that 47, and Greg Alding was extremely fast in that race. He was, granted, it was in the rain, but he was running 14th, 15th, 12th, 17th. That was his running position the entire race. And then his radio went out. And he accidentally cut the back straightaway chicane. And he was unaware that due to his radio not being there, that NASCAR just stopped scoring him. They gave him the black flag. He didn't go down pit road to serve a penalty, and he stayed out for 7 laps, and he was not counted for 3 of those. So he basically went from 12th to disqualified. And so I'm pretty sure that was the Roval. That's one of the 28th or 29th finishes at the Roval. The other one was a mechanical issue that didn't help him get there. Coda, he's running, you know, this Jimmy Means car, kind of starting in the rain. He was already off pace. That field spread out because that's just how the race is. There's not going to be a whole lot of racing there. And he still finished 27th. At his good finishes, Daytona Road Course, still kind of a wreckfest this year, but 21st. Watkins Glen, 16th. Montreal, 14th. You know, 29th at, I gotta move this, 29th at Road America. But, you know, I think worst case scenario, Greg Alding finishes 29th. That's where I have him projected. Now, if the car sticks together, if the car fails, that's just how it is. But I don't see why Greg Alding doesn't get, like 22nd, 24th in this race. Right now I got him projected for 29th, but I wouldn't be shocked to see him get a top 25. And so, answering your question, ACS, I think he's a good play. It's just, who's riskier? Like, whose car fails first? Does Greg Alding blow an engine, or does Kyle Weatherman blow a transmission first? It's very head-to-head. It's very close. I wouldn't be shocked if they have mechanical issues on the exact same lap. Same thing with Bailey Curry, so... let me highlight these morons. Did I get to Howard? I know. God dang it. I'm probably going to regret not having any Howard. Because if we go down the line of who can have issues and who can't. Well, we'll highlight those guys yellow. It's these guys here and Tommy Joe. We'll chuck him in there because he's cheap enough. I guess Ware too, but we won't do that as well. But it's these four guys. So which guy has the best car here? It's probably Tommy Joe Martins. Who is most likely to wreck or DNF in this race? I forgot to highlight Weatherman as well. Who's most likely to DNF? I think it's Weatherman. I think it's Curry. I think it's Galding. Who should just score good in general? It should be Joe Graff Jr., but he's Joe Graff. Same thing that I said with Greg Alding can be said about Joe Graff Jr. That's why I kind of joked of, with how bad Joe Graff is, it's weird seeing that he's actually good on road courses. And I think it's because you don't have to race anybody at a road course. With how slow Graff is, he just kind of chills by himself. 20th at the Daytona road course this year, 26th last year, NAGP last year, 26th, Roval 2020, kind of a wreck fest. I think that was the monsoon as well. 15th there. Road America in 20. Joe Graff Jr. finished 25th. So the same thing that I just said for Greg Alding can be said for Joe Graff Jr. I would give both these guys, and I'm giving Joe Graff 26 based on I think the car actually makes it through the race. But yeah, that's how I'd look at the punts in there. Let me look. Oh, thank you, Clint, for the super chat. I do appreciate that. I really do. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Let's see. Does Gibbs have a hood? It doesn't. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's because Ty Gibbs and Joe Gibbs want some real money. Same thing with Sheldon Creed and Marcus Lemonis, where they basically said, no, we're not taking your money because you're devaluing our car. I'm pretty sure Joe Gibbs is probably asking around probably 70, 80,000 for that hood or for the car sponsor. That's why I think nobody's really got on it, because who the fuck has that money right now? And who's gonna sponsor an Xfinity car? And even if it's cheaper, obviously people aren't coming, so it's obviously they want more than $15,000. And whatever that money or whatever that number is for Ty Gibbs, people are not liking it at all. That's funny. Yeah. Put the legalized 54 machine out there. I don't personally. I don't like Star. Personally, I don't like Jesse Little. He's too good for sponsorship. That's funny. That's funny. It's been a long time since we've had a car unsponsored win a race. We've come very close, and maybe Ty does this day. I always think that's quite funny. Well, I guess we've had Creed do it if you count having GMS on the truck. Yeah, whatever they're wanting is just far too expensive for anything of importance. So, oh well. I saw Ty Gibbs bitching about dealership prices. I don't know why. I don't know what he's complaining about. I have no clue what Ty Gibbs is complaining about with dealership prices. Don't understand. And I don't mean to be like one of them boomers and being like, oh, them spoon-fed dealing boys, they didn't earn anything. But come on, Ty. Come on. I know your family has money. What are you talking about? Dealership? What are you talking about? Buy used cars. What about me? Like, I love old cars. Like, not even necessarily classic cars. Like, I got 2001 Jeep Wrangler, 1999 Ford that I use. I'm currently looking at like old Mercurys and old Crown Victorias. Like, I don't like newer cars. I don't like all the electronics. I don't like the touch screens. So like, when probably next year when I'm looking for a goof around car, I'm gonna be looking for like old 80s and 70s trucks and cars. Like, so I don't understand these fucking rich kids being like, oh man, I don't know. That's just a rant. Just a rant. Just a rant. Let's see what else we got here. I think that's about it. I don't like Ryan Sieg. That's just where I'm at. I think I got him in a lineup, but I don't like to play. I think that's about it. I think I've talked about everyone that I have. Pretty sure I have. We just got to see how the race plays out. Hopefully it stays green, and just hopefully nobody has an issue, and it should run pretty cut and dry. Like, we should be able to figure out how the race goes and how it doesn't and everything like that. Let me think. I can't think of anything else to really talk about. Tomorrow live stream at 1 Eastern with Jordan. That's live stream I can actually schedule because it's not just me. So yeah, 1 p.m. Eastern time for the NASCAR Cup Series live stream with Jordan and I think that'll be another interesting race. I hate watching road courses, but for, I guess, DFS, they're easier to try and predict. It's pretty cut and dry of who gets place differential, who doesn't, and things of that nature, unless things get really crazy towards the end of the race. So I think that's about it. I think we're gonna cut it off there. Hope you guys have a good day. Best of luck, and like I said, tip me. I'll take my shirt off. Whenever. I'll see you guys later. You guys